Good morning friends. Today we are going to learn time domain analysis. Time domain analysis has two parts. One is standard test signals and another one is types of system. Order of system is also a part of time domain analysis. As far as standard test signals are concerned, we have to go into the first types of systems, that is open loop system and closed loop system, that we have studied in a unit number 1. Open loop system has suppose a system has an input 1 volt and corresponding gain of the system is 10, output will be 10 volt. If input is 2 volt and gain of the system is 10, output will be 20. If input is 3 volt and gain of the system is 10, again output will be 30 volt, and so on. That means as input is changing, system response is stable and corresponding output also changes. When input is standard 1 volt DC supply, or it is also called 1 volt step input signal, and output is suppose 20. What is gain of the system? It will be 20, because input is 1 volt step input signal or 1 volt DC supply and output is 20 volt DC, means I can say that gain of the system is 20. Now this is the advantage of learning standard input signal. As I have a standard input signal as 1 volt DC and corresponding output I got is 20 volt, I can predict that DC the signal input and corresponding response of the system is 20, and that's why I am getting output 20. So system response is 20, which without predicting I can understand. So if input is standard, then response of the system becomes easy to find, or gain of the system is easy to find, and correspondingly from the output we can predict any system response. That's why it is essential to learn standard test signals. There are 4 types of standard test signals. One is step input signal, which is also called a position function. Then second one is velocity function, and third one is acceleration function, and last one is impulse function. As far as first one is concerned, step input signal, which is also called position function. As shown in figure 2.1, we know that standard test signal is a DC signal which is having amplitude A. If A is equal to 1, then its amplitude DC signal having amplitude 1. Now everybody knows that frequency of DC signal is 0. So in this case, position function has 0 frequency and amplitude is A, which is also called 1. So equation of this above signal is R of t is equal to U of t is equal to 1 when A is equal to 1. So R of t becomes unit step signal. This is also called unit step signal. And when it will be 1? If t is greater than or equal to 0, or for the instantaneous position, and after that its value is unity. Laplace transform of R of t is equal to R of s is equal to A upon s, or it is also called 1 upon s if it is a unit step signal. So this is standard unit step signal or step input signal. Second is ramp input signal, which is also called velocity function. Ramp is a signal which starts at a zero value of time and increases linearly with time. It is rate of change of input as given into this signal is ramp signal. That means on the y-axis r of t is there and on the x-axis t is there. Slope of this signal is capital A. So mathematically how will you bind it? We will bind in this fashion: r of t is equal to at. If a is equal to 1, it is equal to t. R of t is equal to t, and it is existing for t is greater than or equal to 0, and it is 0 elsewhere. Laplace transform of this signal is 1 upon s square, because t has a Laplace transform of 1 upon s square. So r of s is equal to a upon s square. If a is equal to 1, then it is unit ramp input. Input is unit ramp or slope is equal to 1. Third standard input signal is parabolic input signal, or it is also called acceleration function. It is 1 degree faster than ramp input or integral of ramp. It is also called integration of ramp, and hence r of t, as shown in mathematical equation, r of t is equal to a by 2 into t square into u of t. Figure 2.3 shows a parabolic input signal where on the y-axis it is r of t and on the x-axis it is t. So r of t versus t function is parabolic in nature, and its Laplace transform is given by r of s is equal to a upon s3. Then fourth standard input signal is impulse input signal. It is the input applied instantaneously for short duration of time, and its amplitude is very high. We know that for t tends to 0, area covered under impulse is unity, or it is A. So mathematically we will bind it in this format: r of t is equal to A for t is tending towards 0, and its value is 0 for t is not equal to 0. Here when t tends to 0, its value is capital A or 1, and its Laplace transform r of s is equal to 1 if capital A is equal to 1. The figure is given in 2.4. So figure 2.4 shows a impulse function. Next we will learn time response of first and second order system for standard test inputs. As I have explained that standard test inputs are used to understand what is type of system. Once we know input is standard and output we know, we can find out response of the system or middle portion. Its time response is given if standard input is position function, or if standard input is step function, then output response is not immediate. Suppose in a step system, in a position system, or in a unit step system, there are two types of functions. One is at t is equal to 0, that is instantaneous change from 0 to capital A, and second one is from t is greater than 0, where DC signal is existing. So any standard test input is having two parts. One is transient response, that means at instantaneous point t is equal to 0, and at steady state response, that is t is greater than 0, means DC signal and a infinity signal is there. At t is equal to 0, there is sudden change of amplitude from 0 to capital A. That means rate of change of amplitude is infinity, hence frequency is infinity to a standard test input, unit step input. And another response, it has a steady state response. Steady state response is DC value of that test input, and hence we are calculating time response in two parts. One is steady state response and another one is transient response. So total response becomes transient response with steady state response. Now let us understand why time response of first and second order system for the standard test inputs are important to learn into two types, that is steady state response and transient response. Let us assume that if we apply 1 volt DC signal to a amplifier amplifies this 1 volt signal and gives corresponding output of 10 volt DC. At t is equal to 0, input signal is steady state input signal. Its value is changing from 0 to capital A, and secondly that there will be a transient response and steady state response. Gain is fixed, that is 10, and output is again a DC output of 10 volt amplitude. But if I apply input to a system or to a amplifier, output immediately will not respond. System will not immediately respond and will not give a steady output of 10 volt. Rather, it will take its own time. Suppose we are working, we are taking input from left hand side, handing over to right hand side, and right hand side places it at certain place. This handing over of from left hand side position to right hand side position and then placing at the right hand side, it will take time. This is called a delay time, or person will not immediately respond, or that will take time to hand over from left side, hand over of a piece from left side to right side and placing then later on the right hand side table. It will take time. Like this, system has input applied to the system. If input is instantaneous input and system gain is 10, system output will not respond immediately. System will take time to respond, and this is called time response. Let us understand a function. Figure 2.5a shows C of t versus time. In a C of t, there is a 1 volt DC supply which is nothing but a thin line, and this thin line is a input DC supply or input step supply. while thick line shows response of the system and thick line shows output of the system. It is possible only when it is possible to understand only when input is step, then corresponding output will try to achieve step but not immediately, but it will try to achieve its step after a transient time period. This delay transient time period is happening inside a system because it is an electronic system. That electronic system will take microsecond or nanosecond time period to respond. If we try to reduce this transient response time period, then system's output will be like in a figure of 2.5b. If we are changing, suppose system response, and trying to find out output should be immediately received at the output side. Till then output becomes oscillatory, and this behavior is called a oscillatory behavior of the output. Why it has been happened? Because system will not respond immediately, and we tried to respond the system immediately, or we are making faster system, but it will not so fast that the input. So thin line shows the input line and thick line shows the output line or response of the system to this output line. So it is a oscillatory in nature. If we try to increase speed of that system, speed of the amplifier, if we try to increase, then output will become oscillatory. There will be always, this output is measured in terms of transient response and steady state response as given in a figure. Steady state means when output becomes steady state of 1 volt, and transient means when output changes from 0 to 1 volt is a transient response and steady state response. This is what a steady state and transient response is. Now simply I will read. If network analysis steady state is a condition when the responses has reached a constant value with respect to time. In control system, steady state is a fixed response when time reaches infinity. The steady state response is that part of response which remains after the transients died out. All control systems transient response is defined as the part of the response that goes to 0 as time becomes very small. Mathematically, Ct of t is equal to 0. Figure 2.5 and b shows the transient and steady state response of exponential oscillatory systems. As I explained you, it is divided into two parts, that is transient response and steady state response. All control systems have transient phenomenon before a steady state is reached, because mass, inertia and inductance. The response of control system cannot follow sudden changes in inputs instantaneously, and hence transients are present. The control of the transient response necessary. The transient response gives how closely or quickly the system follows changes in the input. The steady state response of the control system is also very important. It gives the final accuracy of the system. If the steady state response of output is not equal to desired output, system to have a steady state error. The study of a control system in the time domain means study of transient and steady state. Now, how to select test signals? As we know that test signals are standard in nature, and based upon the output we understand system response. If input is 1 volt we know, and output we are getting 0.5 volt, then system response will be attenuator's response. It will not be a gain's response, that we know, and that's why it is essential to learn or to have a standard test inputs. The selection of test signal depends upon type of input frequency applied to the control system. If the input is gradually changing with respect to time, then ramp signal is preferred. If there is sudden disturbance in the input, then step signal is used. For a system subject to shock input, impulse function is used. For constant acceleration testing, parabolic input is used. If there is variation in frequency of input signal, then sinusoidal test signal is used. That means based upon the type of input, we select standard test signal. Then we will learn types of system in the next lecture.